Rodney, you've been through this before with a knee injury, and unfortunately, it's happened again. Tell me, what was that like for you going through that again against the Saints, and what was the feeling as you found out about it?
Yeah, I think I was devastated when I got the news that it could potentially be my ACL. No player wants to hear that, and you know what that entails. And I know firsthand from what I experienced 2 years ago, what it took to get back, to playing at this high level. The dedication, the time, the pain that you kind of endure through that journey, man. And it's it kind of everything flashes before you. I was upset that I, of course, wasn't able to finish that game. I know it's a meaningful, very meaningful game for us in our season. We talked about it, all week, man, and so just being removed from that game hurt alone. And then having my season end this way, and now facing reality and what lies ahead. So many thoughts and concerns and worry. But I was down a little bit, shed a lot of tears, but was quickly reminded, of who I am, my character, by so many people that are close to me and people who barely know me. So that was good to see, and it left me encouraged to prepare myself for this next phase.
Have you thought about your Eagles' future? Obviously, this team's got a lot of difficult decisions to make, and sometimes those decisions are when you see a guy like Malcolm go out the door. Have you thought about what this means for you and what it's going to be like for you as a Philadelphia Eagle?
Yeah, I mean, it does. You do think about those things, of course. Being the age that I am at 30, and I do have one more year left on my deal, but you understand how this business operates, and what one thing you want to make sure you do as a player is you want to be available for your team at all times. And so I pride myself on being available and also productive. So yeah, man, I mean, it crosses your mind, but you kind of just gotta let things play itself out. Of course, I love Philly, man. I love this organization, love this team, and I'm hoping that, of course, once I bounce back, that I'm still on the roster, and I get back to picking up where I left off, pretty much.
What do you think of those young guys they got? They speak very highly of you. Kayvon Wallace specifically talking about what kind of mentor you were, what kind of leader you are. What do you think of some of those young guys who are going to have to step in now? You got that next man up mentality, and that's what the position they're in right now.
Yeah, we live and die by that. That's our motto here in Philadelphia. We lived it for the past 4 years, man. In every position group possible, we've had that mindset here, and it's the same standard for every person that goes out onto that field. And I have no doubt that they will carry the torch. They will, keep the energy high. They will perform at a high level as we all expect them to, and they're getting their opportunity. I sent Kayvon a text. I said, "Man, you're here for a reason. Don't make the game harder than what it is. It's a simple game. Just go out, know your assignment, do your job consistently as possible, and then do it with aggression, intensity, and let your swag show. But go out and get the job done. You have an opportunity of a lifetime, and make it count." That's what I tell all the young dudes when they get their moment, man. Whether it's special teams or it's getting reps on defense, just make it count, and everything else will take care of itself.
Rodney, just a couple hours after you found out about the torn ACL, you could have went home. You could have done so many different things. You had an event plan for the 12 days of Christmas, Change Our Futures 12 days of Christmas, and you went ahead. You went along with it. You're like, I'm going to go out there, do what I'm doing in the community. What was that like? And was that a difficult thing to think about? Because obviously it's a tough moment for you, It's a tough period in your life right now, but you've made this commitment and you got all this stuff that you're working on and that you're doing. And tell me a little bit about the 12 days of Christmas.
Yeah, so I had a conversation with my manager Anton, and he asked me, do you still want to go? And I said, absolutely. I I said I can walk, and of course he laughed, but I told him like it's real. Like I'm not crippled in any way. Where like what is really preventing me from go? My feelings. I think I need to get out. Something like that was very eye-opening for me, and just really put things in perspective. Something along my injury, I have ACL tear, and I get that news, and everybody's comforting me and sending me text messages, and you would think I just would be in this dark place, but when I went to Brown ShopRite and I saw what my wife and I were doing for a lot of those individuals, the emotion that they displayed, the smiles, the tears, all because we were there, covering $100 worth of their bill, or giving them $40. And to think that, I thought I had it, worse. It's one of those things where, man, we have to be grateful for everything, regardless of what's going on in that moment, how bad we think we have it. Someone else has it a lot worse than you. When you think about some of those individuals, they're deciding whether or not they're going to, pay for their medicine or pay for their groceries for that month. Like, they were so appreciative and saying like, this money that now the money that I have can go towards something else meaningful to help out my family or help out myself. So it was good. I needed that for my soul alone, just to be out there. And I'm glad I made that choice, because I could have made the decision and used my injury as an excuse not to go out there and touch those people and be moved by them. But I chose different.
We talked a little bit before about your Change Our Future Foundation that you started with your wife, Erica. What is the importance for you about doing community outreach and being a philanthropist and giving back? Why is that so important to you? A lot of guys, they do it, and some guys have different reasons for it. And it seems, Rodney, with you and your wife, you're real genuine about it. That, we just talked about what happened when you tore your ACL, and you're still going out there doing it. Why is that so important?
Man, it's important for our family, I think, because we understand in this world there are a lot of issues, and the world will not be the world is a better place as long as everyone kind of does their part, right? And for us, a lot of the areas that we have decided to focus on and devote our energy, our time, our money into are areas that are passionate to us, whether we've been affected by it personally, or we understand what can happen if we create these opportunities for certain individuals. And two things that we focus on is education and healthcare. When we talk about the healthcare side, cancer is huge in our household. One, because my mother-in-law, her mom, is a survivor of breast cancer. My grandmother that I've talked about many of times, died when I was in high school of pancreatic cancer. We know other breast cancer survivors. There's a large community of us in this world, and so for us, it makes sense for us to get out and bring awareness to a lot of those causes and fight for research and things of that sort. And then when we talk about healthcare disparities, we talk about the Black and Brown communities. Those people, particularly in this time of COVID, it was uh, it was aware of how many people were catching the disease and then not having the ability to go to these drive-through sites. Like they're not in their areas. Their healthcare providers aren't their insurance aren't covering for them to get tested. And where does that leave them? And so, that's where some initiatives like the Student Health Impact Project that we did a couple of years back came into place, providing free dental and vision care for a lot of these kids because quite frankly, the households just don't have great quality, don't have that access. So that's where, we have inserted ourselves. And then on the education side, we think that's important. Like we're two graduates of the University of Virginia who were afforded opportunities, that we can dream of growing up because of, me being testing into, a particular school and having the ability to go to some STEM type of schools growing up. Because, like I said, because I was tested and not because in my neighborhood, other peers of mine were not afforded that opportunity. And education, man, changes the ball game for a lot of people. Every level of education that you reach, I think I saw a stat, it increases your income by 10%. And so a lot of this is we're not investing into those communities enough. We're not giving those kids the proper opportunity and resources to succeed. So, again, Change Our Future wants to fill that void for a lot of these individuals. So that's where a lot of our, why we do it. It's our passion. It's things that have affected us and how, we can, particularly change our community, specifically the Black community.
We talk about you going out there after finding out the news of your knee 2 years ago. You went out 4 days after you actually had surgery on your knee. Did that occur to you? Did you realize, like when you were going out there, did you think about that? Man, I just did this. I just went through this 2 years ago, and here I haven't even had the surgery yet.
Yeah, I really didn't. Honestly, I'm just living in a moment. Really, just going with whatever my heart, like following my heart. Honestly, my heart told me, like, you need to get out there this time. You need to go out to ShopRite and see those people. And it was the same when that was the first day we were actually announcing the Student Health Impact Project. We were bringing it to a school over in Camden. And I knew what that would mean to a lot of those kids to see me in person, but also to see what I went through, right? Like I just went through a tragic injury, and I'm still here standing alongside these kids, still smiling and still moving on with my life. And I think that sends messages to those kids that, struggles, obstacles, things are going to arise in your life, but, you have to find a way to keep pushing and moving forward, and find some positivity out of all of it. And I would say that was a positive moment in my life that I needed to help me, get through maybe that day or that week. So I just wanted to set a good example for those kids and have, I think me being present really helped, and potentially, saved, a kid that day.
Rodney, I talked to guys who've been nominated for Walter Payton Man of the Year, and last year spoke to Calais Campbell, who won last year, and they always tell me how it means so much more than even personal accomplishments on the field. And I wonder, how's it feel to you to be the Eagles nominee? Get that recognition for all the hard work that you've done all those years, giving back to the community. And what does that mean to you to be even nominated, to be even on that platform?
Yeah, it's special, man. It's a very prestigious award. And it means a lot. It sends a message to a lot of people. And, when you think about legacy, majority of the time, you think of your impact on the field and how you're going to be viewed. But I think a lot of us, particularly, the guys who have won and are nominees this year, will tell you that the work that you do off the field for the people, and how you impact this world will go a lot further. And that's what I'm most proud of. I've always considered myself as more than an athlete. And it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to actually live it. And I feel like I'm living up to those words that I mention often, whether it's me running my business off the field, other business ventures that I'm involved in, and of course now being a philanthropist and how I affect the community, and that's what really fills my heart and my soul, is that work that I do off the field, whether it's my camp, back in my hometown that I've been doing for the past 6 years, or it's bringing a quality of healthcare to a lot of these students, for free, for them to, make sure that they're healthy and put them in the best position possible to succeed, or it's you know forming new leaders of tomorrow through our Game Changers initiative, or it's helping families in need during the holiday, bring some holiday cheer and paying for groceries, and all of that stuff, man, is so fulfilling. And I'm just blessed to be able to support so many people, just because of my talents and gifts.
The Eagles, Rodney, as an organization, have always been good about stressing to their players the importance of getting out there and doing work in the community. When you arrived here a few years ago, how quickly did it take you to sense that, to realize that from Jeffrey Lurie on down, that this organization is about community? You've had a lot of guys previously. Chris Long won the Walter Payton Man of the Year as a Philadelphia Eagle. Malcolm Jenkins been nominated. He's done a ton of work. How much of an influence was the organizational's emphasis on it?
Yeah, I think I noticed that immediately when I arrived here in Philadelphia, and how much they value and love, the community, give back a lot, and it's also a um, testament to the character of guys who are in the building. You talked about Malcolm, talked about Chris Long. I started with Chris in St. Louis. He's a Virginia guy. And so those are guys that like I looked up to, as I, um, you know, uh, advanced as my career got started in the league, and coming here and seeing how Malcolm, what he did, not only on the field but off the field. I said, I used to tell him, like, I can't even keep up. I don't even know how you do it, how you keep your sanity. But it was amazing to see, and you just kind of try to imitate that. And I learned so much, I think, from Jink, especially from the social justice side, and how like how to utilize your platform and how big your voice actually is. I think that was one thing. But then another thing I learned was that the fact that Mr. Lurie and everybody in the building supported him and supported all of us in a lot of these efforts. So it was good to see, and you don't see that quite often around the league enough. The support of owners, fighting for everything, whether it's social injustice or whether it's, autism or whether it's cancer, he's right there in the forefront. And so I'm appreciative and glad to be on this team, man. And, yeah, it all worked out.
Well, Rodney, man, I appreciate your time. I wish you a ton of blessings with your surgery when you have it. I know you're waiting, right? You're gonna wait until you get through the 12 days of Christmas first.
Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy Christmas a little bit with the family, and then the following week I'll have surgery.
Okay, awesome,
Yeah,
man. Well, appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
absolutely, man. Have a happy holiday.